Experience Cyclone Filter Cleaner, the smarter, faster way to clean your pool filter. Tired of slow and messy filter cleaning that leaves your back hurting? Cyclone Filter Cleaner changes that. Now you can clean 4 filters in 15 minutes. Designed by pool pros, its spinning action reaches deep into every pleat without you bending over. Just connect your hose, slide the filter on, and watch the magic happen. Clean smarter, faster, and easier with Cyclone Filter Cleaner.
Hey, pool pros! Tired of roasting under the sun and gear that doesn't hold up? Revved Up Apparel has your back with SPF-protected apparel made for the pool pro. Want to stand out from the competition? Done! No minimum orders, no inventory stress. We handle the design, posting, printing, and fulfillment, so you can focus on the grind. Whether you're a single poler or managing a whole fleet, this is how you gear up smart and stay sharp. Check out RevvedUpApparel.com. Built for the pool pro. Designed for the proud.
This episode is brought to you by Skimmer. Trusted by over 30,000 pool service pros across North America, Skimmer software helps you save time, grow revenue, and boost your 5-star reviews. Whether you're just starting out or owning the market, Skimmer's easy-to-use tools and expert support have you covered. Upgrade your business in 2025 with Skimmer. Visit getskimmer.com/tip of the day to try Skimmer for free for 30 days.
Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Back Bags, a global brand that's locally owned and operated, providing pool debris bags to pool guys in SoCal, so your pool can be debris-free for the weekend. More info at vacbags.com, VACBAGZ.com.
Yeah. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride, and listen to the big homie Pete the Pool Guy. Dropping game, keep it real, put the knowledge on deck. From backyard pools to collecting them checks. Ain't no gimmicks, no stress, just some free flow talk. Breaking bread, building up, gotta walk that walk. From the chlorine to the hustle, every move got a plan. If you work it the right way, you can level up, man. Pool Full Podcast, let's vibe. Game so deep, let's ride. From the valley to the masses, we know. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Pool Full Podcast, let's vibe. Game so deep, let's ride. From the valley to the masses, we know. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Fool Podcast. I'm your host, Pete the Pool Guy. Today, I have a very special guest with me. I've known this brother for quite some time already. Through Instagram, I watch his work, and I just want to welcome Michael from Vision Pools. Michael, how's it going, bro?
Good. How you doing, Pete?
Pretty good. Hey, listen, so thank you so much for being on the pod. Appreciate you. And we want to get to know your story, get to know you. How'd you get into the business? And what keeps you motivated? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you could talk to us a little bit about before we get into pools and everything, and what got you started? What did you do before?
Yeah, I'll get into that whole story, but I just wanted to say 2 things real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
First is I want to keep the story part really short, so I'll go through that quick because, like I said earlier, I want to get to sort of like the business, how I see things a little differently. And the other thing is, a while ago on Instagram, I wasn't really, I wasn't paying too much attention to what was going on. I saw you a lot, and I liked, your stuff or whatever, but you you had some posts about what people were charging, things like that, and I noticed a lot of people didn't have a lot of, they didn't like that aspect of what you were doing. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
You had some kind of comments like, oh, we shouldn't talk about that kind of thing. And in my opinion, I think that's everything we should be talking about, not just pricing, but if most of the posts out there are about, uh, how chemistry works or how things like that work, I don't see that really benefiting um, the pool guy's business aspect. Sure, everyone needs to learn that, and the best way to do that is go through a CPO class. Um, but after you have that knowledge, what I think we should be talking about is the business, because I see a lot of people been doing it 10, 20, 30 years, and they're still talking about chemistry. They're still talking about chemistry. If you've been in the business for 2 years, in my opinion, this is all my opinion, obviously, but if you've been in the business for 2 years, you should move on. You have to move on from chemistry. So I'm not a big, um, I can talk about chemistry. I know all the chemistry, but I'm not that big on just constantly reiterating that information when there's so much more information we could be talking about. So
Definitely,
I'm hoping,
definitely.
what I want to do, I'll give my quick story. And then what I want to do is I want to talk about how I see the business differently and what I think can build success for people,
Sounds good,
So,
bro. Let's get into it, man. Yeah, for sure. I'm
so
game. Let's go.
okay. And what I'd ask from you is if things are kind of confusing or not making much sense, to ask the questions, you know what I mean, that you think would clarify it. Because I talk about this kind of stuff so much with helping other people that I forget what people don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so I might be explaining something and people, they shake their head, they say, okay, or whatever, but I don't know if they really get it. Right. So,
So we're gonna do this thing where I'm gonna act like I'm a new pool guy,
all
and
right.
I'm gonna hit you with questions, and you're gonna
And,
explain it
okay.
to me, brother.
Okay. And if
So
I ask you questions about something you don't want to answer, that's fine, because pricing is important, in certain things,
yeah,
but that'll be a small part of it, I think. But so if there's something you don't want to answer, go for it. So, don't worry about it. Give me a general
sounds
info.
good.
Okay. So basically, really quick, after I graduated high school, what did I do? I became a personal trainer through the International Sports Sciences Association. And I was working as a trainer at some gyms. And then one day the director came and asked if I wanted to run their aquatics program, uh, lifeguarding, all that stuff. And mind you, the only reason that she even asked me that was basically two things. She didn't know me at all. I dressed well, other trainers were in shorts and t-shirt, and I wore slacks and buttoned up shirt, and that's all she knew about me. She asked me if I wanted to run the aquatics program. And I said yes. Along with that, I had to become a lifeguard. So to become a lifeguard, I had to start swimming. And that really I noticed how much I really loved being around water, right? Um, through the swimming and stuff like that. And then after a while of running the aquatics program, the maintenance person came to me and said, because I opened the pool at 5 a.m. in the morning. So then the maintenance person asked, hey, we're having a hard time cleaning this pool. Can I teach you how to clean the pool? You could come at 4:30 in the morning, right? Clean the pool for a half hour, open it up, and then go from there. So he taught me cleaning the pool. I get there at 4:30, clean the pool till 5. Then I'd lifeguard till about 8 or 9, when the other lifeguards would come in to take over. And then I did the office work. And what I really loved about that was it started sort of this lifelong appreciation of being able to start early and end early. I was going home at 12 o'clock, had the whole day, Everyone else is just halfway through their day. And I really like that kind of schedule because the pool industry allows you to do that kind of thing. The pool as a pool person, it's really a lifestyle, in my opinion, you know, and you can build your business to fit your lifestyle and what you want to do. As long as if you like certain things like being outdoors and stuff like that, you know. So I taking care of the pool, lifeguard for a while. And then after that, I went off to college and I studied physiology, and I got a degree in physiology. And I worked in a biochemistry lab for a while, and we did different lab tests, things like that. I did that. I wanted to be a physiologist, basically. While I was
Okay.
while I was in college, as a part-time job, I was a lifeguard at college also because I had that certification. And then randomly out of nowhere, they came to me and they said, "Hey, you show up early. You, they didn't know much about me other than I show up and I dress nicely, and the saying about half the battle is showing up, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
So, so they trained me on that pool. I do the same thing. I started taking care of that pool. After college, graduated, and I was renting a house, and I asked the landlord, they had a pool there too. I said, "Hey, I can take care of this. Can I take care of this pool and you take money off of the rent?" So he said, "Yeah, that's fine." So I started doing that. Met some of the neighbors, and they had pools, and they said, "Oh, why can you do my pool too?" So I was like, "Okay, I'll do your pool." So I noticed something at this point. After that, this is when I was now looking for a career in physiology at a lab. And what I noticed was on 3 separate times, without me trying at all, for some reason, the idea of taking care of pools or came to me. You know what I mean? I never went out and was looking for any of those jobs, but on 3 separate occasions, out of nowhere, uh, this opportunity came to me for pools. So I was looking for jobs, and I put up my resume, and I put up everything I could put up. I put up my degree in physiology, some property management stuff, and I just threw up that I could take care of pools. And the only person that ever responded to me was another pool guy saying he was looking for
The
somebody to help
pools.
pools. So I was like, okay, I'll do this part time until I get a job as a physiologist. Months went by. I found some jobs here and
Which, by
there.
the way, you already have your degree in, right?
Yeah, I have a degree in exercise sciences. So I was looking for jobs, and every job I found would be, I'm going to have to commute 2 hours to UCLA to work in a lab. This was like 2008, 2010. And the pay was $10 an hour. $10 an hour as a physiologist inside a lab. And
Dang.
I was commuting 2 hours, working for 8 hours, commuting 2 hours home, working a 12-hour day. I made the same amount of money cleaning pools in the first 2 hours of the morning.
And with no degree.
And yeah, no degree. So technically, a lot of my degree covers chemistry. So I was kind of using that in a way. I loved being
Nice.
on water. In college, I was the president of the surfing team, and I was on the vice captain of the sailing team. And I always liked water, being around water. So I got to be around water. I got to be outside, and I was making more than these other jobs I was applying for within 2 hours. And that was as an employee. So I was like, if this is what I can make as an employee, and I like it, imagine when I'm the owner. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I did that about 2 years working for somebody, and then I just started off on my own and started getting my own pools.
That's awesome.
Now, another thing I want to say real quick, which goes into how I see the business, is right from the very, very beginning when I started the pool industry, I decided that I need 1 day a week of no cleaning to devote to the business aspect, billing, flyers, advertising, whatever, things like that. And in 15 years of doing this, I've been doing this about 15 years. I've never had to work a 5-day week, really.
You set up your schedule so that way you could clean your pools and then still have that one day off, not off, but to be able to focus on the business and everything that has to do with growing the business part of it.
If you watch my Instagram, you'll see a lot that I kind of, I have these like a lot of coffee breaks. I don't know if you noticed that, but every day I usually kind of end it or take a break somewhere at like a coffee place or something like that. Because
Yeah.
every day I am processing, what did I do and what is the future plan? You know what I mean? The reflection period. You need a reflection period. Once you get so busy and you lose your time to do that, you don't know really where you're going, whether you're going in the right direction or not. So
Where did you learn this? Where did you get this mindset from? Because it's really good.
I knew in other countries that had a better way of life, more happiness, things like that, that their average work schedule was 30 hours a week. And, here our schedule is 40 plus, right? So a much more balanced life to me was 4 days work, 3 days off, right? I get 52 extra days a year to be with my family than the average person.
Yeah.
Right. Because like what I want to talk about soon about how to help people sort of structure their business in pools and which direction they want to go in. You got to be very cognizant of the fact of, are you creating just a successful business or are you creating a successful life? Because I could sum up this whole podcast we're going to do by just saying, I got the solution for you, Pete. I know how you can be really successful, right? You're going to work 100 hours a week. You'd be pretty successful working 100 hours a week, right? You could work at McDonald's.
So yeah,
You could work at McDonald's for 100 hours a week and make good money.
make money. Yeah. The business side is successful, but what about the personal?
Exactly. So you got to make sure all your forms of wealth are in balance. Okay. And to me, that boils down to your time, right? Do you have time? Do you have the kind of time you want in your life to accomplish the things you want to accomplish? Financial. Do you have, is your financial wealth set up? Your family, social interactions, having friends, engaging in social activities, your health, right? Is your health good? Is your health up to standard to do the kind of things you want to do? And are you mentally fit and stable, right? So I'm not going to suggest in the pool industry to do anything that doesn't allow you to have the other 5 wealths in your life, right? Time, health, mental, financial is one, and your social, family, friends, things like that.
It's like everything else. You want to be well-rounded, right? And a lot of times what I feel that a lot of us focus on is the business, like you said. So we're living to work instead of working to live, and being able to enjoy also our families, also our time, because time is valuable. Time is currency. So it's either going to be fine. You want the money or do you want the time? So you want to be
Right.
well-rounded in every single one of these aspects.
Well,
Definitely.
of those 5 that I mentioned, which one would you say is most important?
To me, time.
Right.
To
Exactly.
me personally, time. Yeah, time with my kids, time with my family. As long as I have the means to provide for them and everything else is taken care of. Obviously, our health, everything else is important, but the one that hits mostly to me is time, because
Right.
right now time goes like that.
Yeah.
Before you know it, your kids are 10 years old, 17 years old. And what did you do? You spend your whole life working and not being able to drop them off at school, not being able to go to their basketball games, all that stuff is important, making those memories.
Well, and the way that you know that though that's true is because when they interview people that are in their 80s, in their 90s, and they say, what is valuable to you now, or also a good practice to do is to take some time and sort of imagine 20 years from now, 30 years from now, write out what you think your day would be like, right? So you're 70, you're 80. What do you do in your day? You wake up. What do you see? What would make you happy? Have a happy life. Okay. All of them
Yeah.
have all of them have a similarity. Now, some people might wake up and they want to play golf, right? All day. They play golf and that's their activity. Some people want to be on beaches or, whatever you want to come up with. But there's uh, some similarities between all of them. One is they're always around people. So they're always with their family in the example. They always have their health, okay? Because they're usually doing an activity. So they're playing golf, they're snorkeling, they're hiking, they're doing something like that. So they have their family, they have their activity, they have health, right? They're not concerned for money, okay? Which is what most of us think about initially. We just think about, well, when I'm older, I don't want to be concerned about money, right? And
Right.
then they're, mentally stable or whatever, but and they have time. They're always the same. They always encompass those five more valuable types of wealth, right? So I forgot where I was going with that. You asked me a question before I went into that, and so I'm not going to suggest to do anything with your business that is going to give you no time. That's going to destroy your health. That's going to keep you away from family. That's going to rob you, mentally stress you out beyond, causing other kind of issues or problems. All to gain the one lifestyle wealth, which is financial, right? So we have to design a business in pools that allows us to have all of those plus make enough money, right?
Right.
And most people can't do that.
Yeah,
Either
I saw a video. I saw a video online. Don't mean to interrupt you, but it brought it back to my mind. I was thinking about it right now, and there was a quote, and a young man said, asked the question, um, for $1 million, like, is if I offered you $1 million, would you take it? And obviously the guy said, yeah, I would take it. It's $1 million. And then he said, okay, but what if I told you you couldn't wake up tomorrow? Have you seen that one? Yeah,
yeah,
and then he says,
yeah,
no, then that
right,
means that day is worth $1 million. So act like it,
right,
wake up with
right.
that. It made
Another,
me think about that.
if you're not happy with where you are in life, one thing I think about sometimes is, let's say I gave you the opportunity, Pete, that tomorrow you could wake up a different person, okay? But you don't know who you're going to wake up as. It's going to be a completely different, it's going to be a completely random situation, okay? Anybody in the
Right.
world you could wake up with tomorrow, would you do that?
No.
Take that
And the
chance?
reason I would say no is because I already know my situation. I know where I'm at right now, and I could control that. I
Yeah,
can't control a new situation. I don't know what's going on.
right. Well, and also in the back of your mind, what you're really saying is the majority of the people in the world are worse off than you. You're better. The chances, your life is
Yeah.
the chances of being someone else already.
I don't think that me personally, I don't think I'm in a better situation. I know I'm blessed and I know I'm in a good situation.
Right.
But the reason I answered I answered no was because I was thinking more of like, okay, I have more of an advantage being where I'm at right now because of my life experiences, what I have learned, and where I know where I stand in life than
Right.
jumping into somebody else's life and not knowing nothing.
Right.
So it's kind of like a reset button.
So let's do this. You start that off by saying that you're even though your life isn't perfect or whatever, that you wouldn't want to take that chance, basically. So what would you say is the one thing that you would want to improve? Is it the financial? Is it your time? Is it your relationships with family? Is it your mental, physical health? What would be most
I
important?
think it's you got to be well rounded in all of those aspects. You got to be able to grow in all of them. And me personally in my life, if I really take the time to think about it, is it time? Is it health, mental, financial, or social? Us guys, I think we automatically go to financial because we want to make more money because we think money is the answer to everything. But as I've been getting older, I've been realizing that time is very important, especially as my parents get older, family members die off, friends grow apart, all that stuff. And it's like, okay, um, I feel like my time is the value of my time is being, it's getting more expensive.
Right.
It's going to cost you a lot more to get my time than it would back in the day. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what most people go through, right? So mostly you work on the financial, right? But you work on the financial so that you can then have time. You can then spend it with family. You can then get physically fit. You can do all these things. But really, that goal is what takes away from the other four, right?
Yeah, it
That-
becomes your whole purpose. Like literally, you're working from sun up to sundown. That's all you're doing is work, work, work. And you're building a nest egg and you're building a future for your family and a legacy or wealth, financial wealth for them. But it's like, okay, are you going to be able to enjoy any of that? Or
right,
is your life going to be you're just a slave to work?
right, exactly. Okay, so
Who's going to reap the benefit?
yeah, so let's not do that then. Let's come up with a better method, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, let's get down to how you do that. Okay. First, let's look at the main ways that people make money in the pool industry. Okay. Now, I'm excluding certain things like becoming a sales rep or designing a product, right? Like, you go work for Pentair, or you go work for Hayward, or you design
Strictly pool pros.
pool. Exactly.
Gotcha.
Or also there's a lot of such specific companies like solar companies. Solar companies aren't cleaning pools, right?
Nah.
And who else? Anyways, there's more fencing.
Anything that's not pool cleaning related.
Right. Yeah.
So I would
So
say the areas to make money would be repairs, acid washes, bead blasting. I see the pool cleaning as this is what pays the bills.
yeah.
This is what pays the rent, the cars, everything else. Extra money would be those three, filter cleaning and stuff like that as well.
Okay. We'll get into that. All right. But let's say you're starting today. You're brand new. You're starting.
Gotcha.
What is everyone that starts in the pool industry? What is their first mentality of how they're going to get successful?
Get more pools.
They're going to have a 500 pool company, right? They're going to have 500
Right.
pools, 1,000. They're going to have a whole bunch of employees. Do you know anybody personally that has that kind of level of pools?
Yeah, I do.
Are they? Do they have?
And I never see them.
Really? What do you mean you never see
They're
them?
hard to get a hold of.
All right. Now,
That's their business because they have so many accounts. Their business is their life. They're literally on the phone 24/7. That's their world.
you can't get a hold of them, not because they're on the beach, but it's because they are working.
Nah,
Work.
they're slaves to the pools.
Yeah. So first, when you first start in the business, your idea is you're going to get 500 pools and the employees are going to do everything. Right. And that doesn't,
Right.
it never happens. It'll never
No,
happen.
because they will never work as hard as you do or put the effort as much as you do. Because it's your baby.
You'll always be there. You'll always be there until you hire. Then you got to get a repair person, right? Then you got to get an office person. Okay. So in business, there's a lot of diminishing returns, right? And what that basically means is you have 80 pools, you have 100 pools, whatever you're doing a week, you're working hard, and you hire an employee. What's the first thing that happens? Your payment, your income is
Payroll.
cut. Your
Yeah.
income is majorly cut. You're working hard. Another year later, you hire another employee. Same thing. It gets cut, right?
Right.
After you get about 4 or 5 people, now you say, now I don't need to clean pools anymore. Now I can just do repairs. Okay. So now you're doing the repairs. You're making the money from the employees. You're doing the repairs. You're still working constantly. You never have a break, right? Your
Right.
physical health, mental health, and family, your time, you have none of that. Okay. Eventually you reach the point where if you really want to step away from that business, now you need people to control the business for you. You need office people, you need managers, you need supervisors, things like that. What money do they bring in for you? None. They bring that straight out of your pocket. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I've run the numbers and I've looked at this, and basically, if you had a 500 to 600 pool route with all employees, a repair person, and managers and managers and office staff to run everything for you, so you can step aside, you make about the same amount of money as being on the high end of doing maybe 50, 60 pools.
Wow. Because you have so much money leaking out to the employees, that makes sense.
Now, here's another thing. You're telling me that you're going to run a extremely liable business where you're liable for anything that can happen, with a whole bunch of employees running around in your truck. You're going to run a business like that also in the most litigious state in the country, California, right? It's really a recipe for disaster. The 3 main people I know that have, 3 to 500 pools, they're not only are they working all the time, like I said, but they've been sued. I know one guy who had a lawsuit for $400,000, right? So it doesn't.
Some more risk.
It doesn't. Yes, you're running all the risks in the state that has the most amount of lawsuits, California.
Lawsuit happy people, man.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time, in my opinion, that it'll come back to bite you. Okay. And then also what I noticed, the people that run those businesses, those 500 pool businesses, they're also doing construction. They're also doing a bunch of repairs. They're doing all this stuff. They never get to step away. Okay. So I don't think that's a very good business model to have that many. I think there's a better solution. Okay. So another method to making a lot of money is if you specialize, right? So you specialize in, I have the equipment to do tile cleaning, right? I'm very tech savvy and I can do all the automation. and all the troubleshooting things, right? They have a specialty that they do, right? So, and that goes into also the uh, like the solar people, the fencing people, right? You focus on one thing, and a lot of times you can. Part of this also could be like you're doing a warranty. You're doing warranty work, right? Now, problem is, how do you guarantee your income with that, right? In summer, you can't get to all your installations, and in winter, you don't have any.
Hmm.
So it's very up and down when you specialize, right? And most people, most pool guys don't specialize. They kind of just do anything. Oh, you want a pump? Okay, I'll do a pump. Oh, you want a filter? I'll do a filter, right? You want an acid wash? I'll do an acid wash. So we'll come back to specializing because there is a good way to make it work. Okay.
I was
But
gonna say, if you don't mind me interrupting, I was gonna say I do know a good buddy of mine, and his name's Rudy. He's with Supreme Pool Tile Cleaning, and that's all he specializes in is tile
yes,
cleaning, calcium removal, and that boy is busy 24/7
yes,
because he figured it out. He figured out not only to market to the clients but also market to the pool techs. So the pool techs that don't want to do the bead blasting use him. So he's a big ups to him. He figured it out how to do the
right,
specialty portion of it.
right. So after we figure out what is difficult with the different forms of making money, then we're going to go back and we'll take how to make them work and sort of like that, right? So that it can be a part of what you offer, right?
Right.
But real quick, another way that a lot of people, some people make money or see making money is doing construction. Okay, so they're gonna get into construction. Okay, construction. If you're doing it, you're definitely damaging your health, your physical well-being, right? So you're not doing that. Let's say you're a contractor, you have your C53. Um, for one, it's very hard to keep a crew of people. So if you're not already successful to the point where you can have these crew every day working every day, um, you're
They'll move
always
on.
they'll move on. They'll find any contractor that can give them jobs every day. So what you need to
Yeah.
do, even when you don't have work, you need to pay them,
Yeah.
right? Hey, I'll tell you at
Right.
7 a.m. I'll tell you at 6 a.m. if you have a job today. And 6 a.m. you text them, hey, no job today. Here's your money. You get to go have fun, right? So you're always, you're
Right.
always you have to almost pay them like a salary to keep them
Yeah.
committed to you. Okay. And here's the
Yeah,
other thing.
because I mean, you think about it. If you're just you're a married guy, have kids, have family, mortgage, all that, you need that steady income.
It's very
So
yeah, exactly. It's very unpredictable. I was in
yeah,
pools in the 2008, 2009. I was still in college, but I talked to some people and they said it was a really tough time, the people that did construction, right? Now,
yeah,
if 2008 was a tough time, they have no idea what's coming, okay? Because how many times have people told you, Pete? I've heard it a bunch of times in the last 6 months to a year. Oh, your job is great because AI can't affect you. Have you heard that?
I no, I haven't heard
Oh
it
yeah,
yet.
I've heard that.
This is the first time,
Oh, you
but it
haven't?
kind of okay.
Yeah.
I can see the where their mind's going, but yeah, I
A-
haven't heard that one yet.
AI robots aren't going to come out and clean your pool, yet, or all that, and so
Oh
your
yeah,
job,
yeah. That's the Tesla robots.
yeah. So they say your job is safe. Okay. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs. A lot of people. We won't necessarily lose our jobs, but do you think those people that all the massive layoffs that are going to come through AI, they're going to be sitting at home with nothing to do, and they're going to think, I'm not working now, and I'm sitting at home all the time, so let's build a pool, right? No. But
No.
all 2008 is going to be nothing compared to that. The other thing that's happening at the same time is, we go through a lot of debt cycles in our economy. We go through long-term debt cycles, like 10 years at a time, and then we go through these short-term debt cycles of like 2 years or so, and it just weeds out. It's a form of weeding out the people that can't make their payments, and then the system sort of starts over and all that. When AI really becomes more advanced and starts taking some of these jobs in the next year or two, we're going to be at the peak of both a long-term debt cycle and a short-term debt cycle. People are going to have no money, and then you can't get money. They're going to hold everything they have because job stability is going to be very unpredictable, and no one's going to be able to get new debt. So construction people, unless they're already well off, are going to have to start looking for other ways also to make money. And this is one of the things where, although I'm saying this, and if someone doing construction's listening, this is where I was talking about how, I don't think a lot of people aren't going to buy into some of this stuff, or necessarily believe that anything is going to happen. And it's hard to predict what's going to happen. Nobody really knows what's going to happen with AI, But so, anyways,
Well, I think the way I see it, it's being prepared for the unknown. This is something new that's taking over that is going to take away jobs. We're seeing it already with restaurants. We're seeing it already with banks. People will start losing their jobs because of it. And those people, like you said, will then have to turn around and try to find another source of income. That's why they're saying that right now, our kind of line of work is very valuable. Plumbers, mechanics, yeah, all those kind of pool guys, because they don't know, but everybody feels secure with their jobs right now inside of an office. But AI, I could see how AI could definitely take over that.
Right. And yes, exactly. So all I'm saying is, like, yes, I think we have a secure career, right? We're not going to lose our jobs. No one's going to take it over. But our customers are the ones that are going to be affected. And they're going to be the ones that are going to start saying, hey, I wanted to do an automation system, but now I'm going to hold off. Hey, I want to remodel my pool, but now I'm going to hold off. You see what I'm saying? That's what it affects. It doesn't take our job away, but it is going to have an effect on us.
So, definitely.
So I think if especially for anybody now that's thinking construction, I would probably think differently and set other things up in place first. Okay. So another way that people make money in the pool industry is they sell their business. They sell their routes. Okay. Now, when you sell
your routes and sell them. Yeah.
They buy routes, they fix them up, they raise prices, they do things like that, they sell them. Or you just build routes and you sell them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you sell, you don't need to sell your name. You don't need to sell any of your assets. You don't need to sell any of your tangible assets or goods like your trucks or your names or your phone number, right? You can just sell straight over to your
competitor.
Okay. And the way most people do that is
unless you franchise.
You can franchise, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That could be another one.
Yeah. There's not a lot of people that do that, but that is a possibility. That is a possibility. If the thing about selling is, if you waited all the way until you built this 1,000 pool business, right? And you have all these trucks, you have all this other stuff, and then you want to sell your business. What pool guy do you know has $1 million to buy a pool business, right?
Right.
Pool guys don't have money. Majority of pool guys don't have any money. Right? It's gone. It's gone.
It's reinvested.
Yeah. So you're going to work your whole life to build this business, and then you're not even going to be able to sell it, really, unless you break it up and things like that. But one of the downsides of that method of making money is you find a pool guy. So usually how they do it is they say, hey, do these 10 pools for 6 months for free, and then they're yours. Right? Do you guys do that out there?
I've seen that happen, but most of the time you buy 6 months, you pay six months to a year worth of for one pool. So you'll either pay for it or you could work it.
You can work it off, right? So
yeah, but I really don't see the working off in 1 year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's kind of popular around here, you know. I see that a lot.
Where are you at again?
Ventura County.
Ventura County.
Yeah, by the coast there. So the trouble with that is, okay, you want to sell off 10 pools, right? And you sell them off for 6 months or something. If you don't get back to 6 pools, if you don't get back 10 pools in 6 months, you lost money, right? If it took you If it took you 7 months to get your 10 pools back that you sold, right?
But you say get back, do you mean the money or do you mean another pool to replace that pool that you sold?
Replace it, to build your business back to that point. Okay. And sometimes people might,
because then your monthly, because then your monthly income goes down because now you're minus 10 pools.
Exactly.
I got it.
Right.
Yeah,
so
I
you
got
sell
it. Okay.
10 pools, so now you're making $1,500 less a month, right? You're paying your expenses, and you're still spending that $1,500 you made. Okay. And then let's say you spent all of that money that you're made from the sale at 5 months. Well, now you actually lost money because if you kept the pool, you would have had another month. Right. And then you have filter cleans and possible repairs and all this other stuff in between.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's whether you sell pools or not, it's really a question of, can you join this race of getting back to where you were faster than the number of months you sold them?
That makes sense. Like, or you could get 10 pools and then sell 10 pools, like work it backwards, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So we'll get to that when we organize these into the best way to do it. So let's say, how many pools would you say you get in a year?
10.
10 pools a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you might not want to do
sell. I don't jump on that. That's not my thing. I'm very picky. I'm very picky with my pools.
Okay.
Nowadays.
Okay. I want to see if maybe I can motivate you a little bit by just throwing this out there. And I'm not trying to talk about myself or anything, but this year I sold, I think, 95 pools.
Nice.
Last year was 80, 81. Okay. And right now I currently have 113. And I've never had anyone taking over really much of that. We'll get to that later. Let's talk about the last method of making money. Okay. And it's a real common one. It's one that everyone thinks about, which is tightening your route, right? You want to tighten your route. You want to get as close as possible so that you drive less, right? Spending less on gas. Okay. You're doing them quicker, right? Now, the mindset of tightening the route is people think, okay, an average pool guy can do 15 in a day because they're going all over, right? They work their whole day. But if I tighten my route, I can do 18, right? So I'm going to be able to do more than them, okay? And that's where I'll make my extra money, okay? But again, with that, there's a better way, okay? But the other downsides of tightening the route is every dollar you make is still physically coming from your work. You still have to get up every day.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go clean these pools, you know, and people don't like the idea because they think, well, if that's all I'm focusing on, then when I'm 60, I'm still out there having to clean a whole crap load of pools, right? I don't want to be 60 and cleaning pools, right? That's what they say. So,
Right.
and and then I'm still dealing with people canceling, people this or that, so their initial mindset is, well, I do construction, I won't have to be there. I have 500 pools, I won't have to be there. I specialize, I only go out for certain things, or I sell my business and I'll just get some pools and sell them. And as we've kind of seen, none of those work as well as it works in your head. Actually executing those things never goes as easy as you think it would. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You following?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I'm paying attention.
Oh,
This is me paying attention. You're like, did he freeze?
Well, like, again, this is how I see things. This is the problems I've seen in these types of forms of people in the industry. And for some people, it works great. Some contractors are, awesome, and some people can handle all the pools and all this other stuff. But to me, I never want to build my business that makes my time suffer. I can't be with my kids. My kids do soccer. No, they do tennis, dance, after school programs, all that stuff. I have been there for every single thing. Last year, my son played baseball. I was there for every single practice, every single game, right? So I don't want to. I want to make sure that the business isn't built in a way where all those other things suffer, like I said at the beginning. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay. So how do I do that, and how can other people possibly learn to mimic what they like in any way? So let's go back to those 5 things: having a large company of 1,000 pools, doing construction, selling your routes, specializing, and having a tight route. Let's go back to those, and let's take what works and how we can use it, and let's eliminate the stuff that doesn't work. Okay?
Got it.
Because on each one of those, I told you what didn't work. Right? You don't have time in one.
Right.
You don't have health in another one. You don't have money.
It affects your mental, your finances, and your social.
Physical. Yeah. All of those have a negative effect. Okay. So let's now organize them so we keep all the positives, eliminate all the negatives, and still keep our other types of wealth in our life that we want, so that we can build not a successful business, but a successful life. Right?
Okay.
So the first one that everyone should focus on is really the tight route. Okay. And that takes a little bit of time. Okay. But when you advertise, why are you advertising all over your city?
Right.
Why are you advertising even in other cities? Okay. You should really just have your main area. People will call you from all over. They'll see your
Right.
truck. They'll get a referral. You'll have a guy out there referring for you. And people will call you all over. That's fine. You can take those while you're building this. But all of your advertising, all your focus should be in your core area. Okay. And what happens is the closer they are and the easier they are. You want to make sure they're as easy as possible. Okay. I don't really take a pool without an automatic vacuum. Or what I do is I tell them, hey, you should get a vacuum. I'll lower your price. They say no. They still say no. I put one of my vacuums in. They like it. They see how good it works. I take it out, bring it somewhere else. They say, hey, where did that vacuum go? And I go,
Oh, I thought you didn't like my vacuum. Yeah. I like that. I like that.
right. That's a $200 vacuum. Let's get you one because it's going to need another vacuum in a couple weeks. I don't know if I can do it. I'm so busy.
Wait, where are you getting a $200 vacuum, bro?
Well, they're crap. Yeah. but it's like 194 for the old creepy crawler.
Gotcha. Because I'm using the pool cleaner crawlers, and those are like 380 to 480.
I put in the one that I put in to show them how a vacuum works is always like the 4-wheel pool cleaner, right?
Yeah.
4-wheel pool cleaner is the best, so they see what that's like, and then I say, well, that one's
Or
$500.
the track vac. Have you seen the track vac?
Is that with the
Hayward? That looks like a little tank.
It has the tanks. Yeah. The tank.
Yeah,
the tank
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I have that one on any of my pools. I like the 4-wheel pool cleaner the most, but that's the one I put in for them to see how a vacuum works. And then when they ask, I say, well, that's a $500 vacuum. I said, you should get it. But if you can't, we can get you a $200 vacuum. Don't expect much out of it. But the point is, you still don't have to vacuum the pools.
Right.
Now, when you really tighten the route down enough, okay, you could do about 20 pools a day. Okay. In my area, I don't know other areas. Okay. You could do about
No,
20.
no, that's about right. Because my guy that I have one employee, and he does 17 pools a day. And they're all within the same community.
Oh, yeah. So
Like
what
that.
time is he done at? What time is he done at?
He starts at 6. He's done by I think 2:30.
Okay.
But he takes his lunch breaks.
Oh, okay. There you go. So good enough. Because I was going to say 12:1, right? Start at 6:30 by 12.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's another situation with having employees here in California. You hear a lot. You pay your guys per stop, and in California you can't do that. You got to do W-2. You can't 1099 them anymore. So it's a hard balance.
I'm going to suggest one thing. Okay.
Yes, please.
The 1099 law in California, when they come after you, it's scary, right? That's a scary situation.
Right.
And I'm not telling anybody to do 1099, and I'm not telling anybody to do a W-2. But if they come after you over W-2 mistakes, that's a bigger, scary situation, right? If they make mistakes, if you do things sort of illegal under a 1099, yeah, there's back taxes and there's other issues that'll come up and things like that. But if you make mistakes with an employee, that's the real nightmare.
Right.
That's what we should be scared of in California.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's the biggest conversation me and my wife had when we did decide to hire an employee. Everybody I spoke with was 1099. Oh, just pay him per stop, pay him cash. And I started like that, cash per stop. But then at the end of the year, I'm like, okay, I just lost a lot of money on my taxes because of it. I kind of count it as a loss. So let's do things the right way. So we started doing things the right, which is the way they say, which is a W-2 and 8 hours a day, hourly pay, make sure you're covered for your insurance, make sure you're covered for workman's comp, all of that stuff that comes with it. It is a lot more riskier and dangerous because it's your company and if you do a 1099, you're subcontracting it out. So it's on them kind of. And W-2 falls on you. So you just got to make sure your books are in line.
Right.
For sure.
The W-2 is definitely the right way to do it because the other way is obviously illegal. Okay. But
right.
When you have the when you're doing a 1099, one person really can come after you, and that's the government. When you're doing a
Right.
W-2, you have the government that can come after you, but then you also
And the
have
employee.
employees, right?
Yeah.
Employee gets hurt, and employee doesn't get paid right. They complain to the state. They come by and they say, all right, Pete, where's all your clock in and clock out times and all this and all that? And it's just like,
Right.
what? Like,
And then that's why you got to make sure you cover your butt. You cover
Yeah.
your butt. You're under an LLC, S corp. Like you divide your, what you make compared to what the company makes. Like you separate everything.
Right. Okay, so you have your pools. Okay, now I don't want to work 5 days a week, so I only work 4. So you have your pools. You have 20 a day. Okay, and they're super close. They're super easy. You're done. You start at 6:30. You're done by 12 or 1. Right. Those 80 pools are already making the same profit as not working with a 600 pool route. Right.
Right.
So you're making the same money as one of those companies. You have no liability really, except on yourself. But here's the problem: you're still doing physical work, right? And you don't want
It's
to.
on you.
It's all on you. You don't want to do physical work. Okay. So why don't you want to do physical work? Well, because when you become 60, you don't want to be doing this anymore, right?
Right.
Okay. So I want to see if I could take a minute to change people's opinion on that and still working. Okay. When there's a thing in physiology called when somebody performs a physical exertion, you measure that in something called METs, METS. Okay. And the baseline for MET values is if you can run a 10-minute mile. Sorry that this is a long story, but if you can run a 10-minute mile in 10 minutes, obviously, that's a MET 10. Okay. And if you're laying around at the house, you're not doing anything, that's a MET 0 because you're not engaging in anything. So cleaning the house, going around, vacuuming, putting things away, dusting, that's about a MET 4. Just stay with me until I get to the point. That's about a MET 4. Okay.
Damn, fool, what are you trying to say? It's easy to be a housewife.
My wife already left. So yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
Nah, go on.
Okay, so cleaning a pool is a MET 5. Okay, so cleaning a pool is a MET value of 5 exertions, right? Now, a 5 is related to something called, and I'm sorry if this is sort of sounds way off topic.
No, I'm writing, bro. I'm writing all this stuff down.
Okay. A MET 5 is a VO2 max, which is how much oxygen your body. It basically, VO2 max is a measurement of what level of work can you do and be comfortable. Okay. Before your body says, hey, you can't keep going. You can't keep running. You can't keep going up those stairs or whatever. Now,
Gotcha.
a VO2 max at a MET 5 cleaning pools, a VO2 max is about a 18 VO2 max. Now, when you get to, if your health declines to a 14, which is pretty close, okay? Cleaning pools is an 18 VO2 max. If you decline to a 14 VO2 max, that means you struggle to go up a flight of stairs. That means you struggle with your kids. Okay. So if someone tells me that cleaning pools is too difficult for them, even in their 60s, maybe in their 70s, what they're basically saying is they are on the verge of not being able to do anything.
Okay.
So I don't think that cleaning pools is really difficult. What I think people are scared of is if they think to themselves, if they're cleaning pools at 60 or 70, what that means is they have to clean pools because they need the money. Right?
Right.
Or they weren't successful enough, they weren't prepared, and they're cleaning pools because they have to. Right? What if you were cleaning pools because you wanted to? Right? You already had money. Okay? Your financial stability is set. Okay? And now you're 60, and what are you going to do? Do you play golf at all, Pete?
Nah, bro.
Okay. Well, I don't
I
either.
fish.
I
fish outdoors. Yeah.
Okay. Me too.
I like from going from sitting at the house to sitting out at the lake.
Yeah. So, if
so let me get this straight. A VO2 max level of work, VO2 max is equal to cleaning. You said 5. I'm at 5, right? Which is 10. Okay.
Let's just
So when it
concept. Let's just understand the concept that if you can clean pools at 60 and 70, you can go up a flight of stairs, no problem. You can play with your kids, no problem. And based on what people want later in life, they should be able to do all that. Right? But the reality is, unless you're working on it, you're not going to be able to do those things. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to struggle to do basic physical activity.
Your health.
Now, and what I was saying was people don't want to be cleaning pools in those ages because they imagine they're cleaning 80 pools like they are now, and they're imagining they have to pay the bills. Let's say you don't have to do the bills. You do it because you want to, because you have one choice when you're retired. You can wake up, and the reason I said go play golf is you could wake up every day and you could go play a game of golf, which is like a Met 3 or 4. You could go play a game of golf every day of your life. To me, that sounds a little more like a nightmare because it's all just, I want to wake up with a purpose, regardless of my age.
Yeah.
Okay. So what if you were 60 or 70 and you're waking up and you're doing 5 pools a day or 6 pools, right? You go off, you do 2 hours of work. You still maintain your purpose. And at the end of the week, that's 30 pools. And in the future, when those pools are $250, $300 a pool, you do those 30 pools, you're making $9,000.
Yeah.
Right? To offset whatever else you've accomplished in your life. So, a couple other ways that you stay the most healthy is there's 2 other major methods to evaluate your health. One is the VO2 max. The other one is something about how heavy can you carry stuff, okay? Do you know that we're supposed to be able to carry our body weight for 1 minute, right? So I'm supposed to carry 215 pounds. That's 4 buckets of tablets, even more. That's a lot of freaking weight, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I'm supposed to carry a pallet, bro. Bro, my thighs are very muscular, dog.
a pallet of tabs.
Yeah.
You can. So if you're when you're in that age, if you're complaining about carrying a tote with a gallon of chlorine, you're carrying 20 pounds. That should not be difficult, right? When you should be carrying, you should be able to carry 200 pounds if you had to. I'm not scared about working when I'm 60 or 70. I just don't want to have to work. And I want to keep my work at the level that I want to do. So
I think that the what really resonated with me right now was the word purpose. And you hear a lot how when we retire, retired people. And from working at the bank, I saw it a lot. They'll last 6 months and then they die off because there's no purpose. And I feel it's all the mental health as well.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't wake up with a purpose, I don't know if you've been without a job. I've been without a job, and you lose purpose, and
Right.
you wake up every morning with nothing to do, and literally the day seems so long. And
For
I
men,
think purpose is what, yeah, yeah. And when you get to that age, if you have purpose, then I think you'll last longer. I really believe that.
right. And for women too, women that, everybody needs a purpose. You know what I mean? So, ask yourself basically the question of, would you still dread working later in life if your day was 5 pools, 6 pools?
Nah, man,
I could do
not
that.
at all.
I do that in an hour and a half. You know what I mean? And it gives you the reason to get up. Because like I said, what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
Go play golf every day? I always like different things. I don't like to just do the same thing over and over and over, right? You can't just wake
Yeah.
up with nothing to do, okay? It keeps you motivated. So anyways, we built that route, right? Of 20 pools 4 days a week, which means you're off on Friday. So you got 20 pools Monday, 20 pools Tuesday, 20 pools Wednesday, 20 pools Thursday. Okay.
And your Friday, even though you're off, that's your office day, your advertising day, your this day, right? You're not off,
Right. Yeah. I'll
right?
get to what you can do with Friday. But yeah, as of right now, you're not cleaning pools. Okay. So that's
Okay, you're not physically out there. Gotcha.
out of those 5 examples of how to make money. That's where we start with the first one. Okay. The second one we go to is specializing. Okay. So we're going to specialize in some form of pool repair, pool installation, but it has to meet a few criterias. It has to be a significant amount of money for the job, and it has to be a significant amount of technical skill. Okay. Because how many people can install a filter or do an acid wash, right?
Right.
You also don't want it too physical. Like I see acid washing as it meets the criteria of it's a good amount of money. It's not very skill based, but it's a very dirty job, right?
Right.
I've done a few acid washes, and then I just said I'm done with this. It's just too physical and too dirty of a job, right? So let's say pulling lights.
Okay.
You also need to pick something that not a lot of pool guys are willing to do, right? Because every pool guy can install a filter. So how are you going to specialize in installing filters? Competition's everywhere. Every pool guy is your competition, right? If you pick something that's all physical, well, people don't want to do this all physical job. A lot of people don't want to do acid washes because it's all physical. It's all dirty. It's all, whatever. You don't want that kind of thing either.
Would you say even pulling lights is physical?
Okay, so the problem
especially
with
if you're doing it by yourself.
Right. Lights you could specialize in. A lot of pool guys don't like to pull lights. So you could specialize in doing lights. Problem is the money aspect. Around here, I think people charge like $150 to pull a light. So you got to go out there and do, 5 lights a day.
In an hour.
Four lights a day to get what a better paying specialty would be. You know what I mean? So then on the other side, on the other aspect, there's very technical stuff like leak detection. So it's not very physical. It pays a lot, but it's extremely technical. And it's extremely, honestly, just difficult. You go out to install a filter. You always say, "Here you go, Mrs. Jones. Here's your filter. It's working." Right? When you do a leak test, it could be like, "Well, I just worked for 4 hours. I didn't find anything." Right?
Or this is where I think it's at.
Exactly. It's probably here. Well, what do? We'll just replace the whole pipe. because I don't know. You can cut here. If it's not there, then replace the whole pipe, whatever. And then you're telling people, well, okay, can you pay me? I didn't find anything, but you got to pay me anyways. And
Yeah.
it's basically like working on stuff with your eyes closed,
Yeah.
It's very technical, and it's expensive to get into, $10,000, $15,000 worth of equipment, whatever. So that kind of thing is probably too technical, and pulling lights is too cheap, and doing acid washes is too, I call it a dirty
Physical,
job.
you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, dirty job.
It's a dirty job, you're breathing the acid, you're doing all that, it's not good for your health. So we got to find something that's falls in the middle. It's technical. Pool guys won't do it. People need it done. It pays well, and it's not too physical. Right?
Right.
So, let's see. I think I like two options right now. Okay. And it leans a little towards, are you more, you want to lean a little more towards the physical side or a little more towards the technical side? And I would say one of the best options is to do automation. Automation is not a lot of people do it. You ask the average pool guy, hey, can you install this automated system at this guy's house? A lot of pool guys don't do it. It pays really well, and you're mostly standing in one spot running wires and hooking things up.
Right.
And it pays really well, and people need it, and not a lot of people do it. So I think that's a good option. If you want to be a little more physical, I think a good option would be tile cleaning. Not a lot of people do it. You need a separate machine. Okay. It pays really well.
It takes a good chunk of investment in the beginning.
Yeah. The machine. Yeah. Now, I don't know if you could rent it for a while. I don't know. I have a buddy who does it, and he's let me borrow it, but I'm like, that doesn't fit into my system that I use for myself. So I've never borrowed it. I've never done it. I've never done tile cleaning, but I was just trying to think of something that pays well, isn't extremely physical.
I like that one though, because it pays very well.
Exactly.
And like I said, I know, like when I have conversations with the pool tile cleaning guys, it's like 30 minutes, they're done with a job, in and out.
Yeah.
Two guys, like when they know what they're doing,
right?
30 minutes on to the next job. I'm like, damn.
The tile company I use, that's all they do tile. They do like 3 a day.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of money.
Yeah, this guy does 6 to 7.
Right. That's a lot.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's a really good one. It's a specialties. Yeah.
So you do your pools. You do your 4 pools. They're 4 days, 20 pools. You got your 80 pools you did. Now you have that few hour chunk in the afternoon from noon to 2 or 3 or whatever to try to get your specialty job. Right. And because you're a specialist in this, there's no guesswork. There's no, you show up to do an automation and you're like, oh, I didn't bring, enough wire, oh, I didn't.
If it's your specialty, you carry everything with you. Everything's there.
You have 3 of everything.
Yeah.
Somebody calls and says, "We need an automation." You say, "Okay." You even do the same brand, right? You know everything about this brand. You have 3 of them in the car. You are ready all the time. Someone calls and says, "Oh, I want automation. When can you do it?" You say, "I'll be done in an hour. I'll be there. I can do it." Right? Pool guys should know this is your specialty. So all the pool guys should know, oh, call Mike for this, call Pete for that. And they can't do it. They don't know a reliable person that does it well. Anybody they call says, well, I could do it in 2 weeks or whatever. They call you. And the other thing is, because you do it, because you are already ready to go, You're not making any extra trips to the store. You have everything ready on your truck. You buy things in bulk, so you can get a discount on some things you buy in bulk. You do all of that. When they, not only do they know that when they call you, you can do the job cheaper than the other people, right? Because, you know, if you can do the job in half the time, why not charge a little less? You know, so it gives
Right. You're
guys,
saving yourself money, so you're able to provide that discount to the client.
yeah,
And
you're saving
because you're
yourself
being
time.
less expensive, now everybody wants to funnel through you because you're the cheapest one.
Everybody wants to go to you, so they know, oh, this automation person is $4,000, but Mike does, you know, 36 or whatever, and I'll sell more of these. He gives me a referral, whatever. It's done immediately. You know what I mean? The automation's not my thing. Unfortunately, I kind of picked
Yeah.
the leak detection stuff, which is very difficult, you know. But uh, I was never very like good with the. I can do automation, but I usually have somebody help me, you know. So
Yeah.
Pete, you do your 80 pools in 4 days. You have 1 or 2 specialty jobs, hopefully on those days. You know, let's say you want to shoot for like 2 to maybe 4 specialty jobs a week. Okay. Now with just doing that, you have no employees. You're not doing construction. You're not doing any of this other stuff. You're just cleaning your pools. They're easy. And you have your specialty you're doing. You're probably,
And you're making what somebody with like 200 pools does,
you're probably in the $300,000
right?
range. You're probably making 300,000 doing that. Just that. And we haven't even gotten
Because
into,
you don't really have no overhead. You don't
right,
have employees. You don't have none of that.
right.
It's all you.
And
And it's not a lot where it's not manageable.
it also allows you now when someone calls and they're across town and they say, hey, I have a leaky pump. I have a leaky pump seal. The last guy said $175. Can you come out? Can you do it? And you say, no, right? I don't do that. You're not running around to
Right.
all these pointless things, you know. You go out to the pump seal, you take it apart. Oh, it also needed the impeller. You don't have that impeller. You got to go to the pool store, you know, you come back, you put the impeller in, like to make $175 or, you know, whatever. Maybe
Right.
to make even more. I just throw out numbers. I don't throw out, I'm not throwing out actual numbers that, and everyone's different
Gotcha.
country, obviously. So with just that, like I said, you're probably in the $300,000 range. If you have pools, if average here is like $150 a month for a pool, you're doing 80 pools, doing some extra stuff, doing those specialty repairs that come in anywhere from, you know, $600 to over $1,000. You know, you could easily be 300,000 something a year, right?
Dang, bro.
So
80
then,
pools, 4 days a week. Between those 80, between that week, you're doing 2 to 4 specialty jobs, which is whatever you're focusing on. It could be automation, installation, calcium removal, as long as it has a significant amount of money and technical skills. And I like the way you schedule the days. So you're doing your pool route in the morning, go eat lunch, then you go do your your specialty jobs, which will only be what, let's say Tuesday and Thursday or whatever,
right,
2 days or 3 days or 4 days.
right.
Yeah.
And now you're only working 4 days a week. You have 3-day weekends, you know.
But what about the filter cleanings, the salt cell cleanings? Do you do those while you're doing the 20, or do you count that as a specialty job, quote unquote,
So
for that day?
when instead of hiring people, I would give them my extra work. So instead of hiring somebody to clean my pools, I would say I would go into the selling aspect, the benefits of the selling. Okay. And let's say you take 5 pools each day. You take five Monday, 5 Tuesday, 5 Wednesday, 5 Thursday. You put those on Friday. Now you have a 20-day Friday. You can give that to somebody. Okay. That person can handle those pools plus filter cleans. any extra things that you might need done. So let's get
Now
into
you say giveaway, not an employee, like just give it away to somebody, another pool guy.
You could do it like where they work it off for 6 months if you want, 6 months or a year, or if they have money, they could buy them.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So then you could turn around and sell it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's talk about the next thing, which is before you move on to the other aspects, which is like selling or construction. Before you move on to selling or construction, what you should do now you're full. You have 80 pools. You have all the you're doing your specialty work, right? You say no to the pointless jobs that just waste your time. Now I would optimize all your pricing for your pools. So I would take the top 2 or 3 companies, what they're charging. Like in our area, it's like 175 to 200 a month. Okay. And you want to be just right below those people. So I would raise all my people at that point to like 160, 165. So now you're above 75% of all the pool guys out there. You're right below the top people. Okay. Which the top people can't come out to quote anyways. They call them, can you come out to quote my pool? I could be there in 2 weeks. Right.
Because they're busy.
They have the 500 pools. The reason they're so expensive is because they have all those pools. They're just too busy. Right. You're not so busy. You can take care of people properly. Right. But you're still in that range. You know, you want to be in that price range. And the reason you're doing that is because now you might lose, if you lose a few, fine or whatever, but now you're just maximizing what you can there before you move on and make life more complicated by getting into construction or getting into something else.
Now, Mike, do you offer twice a week visits or just strictly once a week visits?
We don't do that out here. We don't have twice a week. I have one pool that when winter comes, they're probably going to have to be twice a week just because of how big it is. How many?
I'm right here in the Coachella Valley, and they're so used to the twice a week approach, which then turns around and messes up your whole schedule. Because now you're trying to work your schedule around the route that you're repeating. So I've been switching mine to once a week. I'm not all there yet, but I know it's one of those things that out here we struggle with because everybody's so used to twice a week.
So what I would say is you go out there, you tell them, hey, your pool's 130. And they say, oh, okay, is that twice a week or once a week? You say, no, it's once a week. But if you want twice a week, what I'll do is I'll minus all the cost of the chemicals, okay? All the cost of operating the business, the cost of billing, the cost of payment processing. I minus all of that down, and now it's $80, right? And this might not work in your area, I don't know. So I take home $80. So now to come twice a week, you give me another 80. I'll have 160. Add back in that $30 that you lowered the price for your expenses on chemicals. Because whether a pool takes a splash of chlorine every day or 1 gallon a week, it's the same amount of chlorine. If you went every day, you just do a splash. If you went once a week, you do a whole gallon. So at the end of the month, chemicals is always the same. So then you add that back in, and then hopefully they see it as it makes sense that, oh, Pete makes $80 to come and clean the pool. It was once a week. So if I paid him twice, I don't know if you think this would work. I want to get your opinion if you think that might work or not, or if it's just too high of a price. So now I'm paying him 80 for Monday, 80 for Thursday, and then pay for his chemicals. So now he's at 190 or something like that.
Right. So on the way I run it is when I get somebody, I just had somebody that wanted pricing on pool service, and I said my minimum price is 175. That's my bottom line, 175 for once a week. So if you are interested, I always hit them with the once a week and everything that's included. I don't bring up twice a week unless they bring it up, and if they do bring it up, I let them know that my starting rate is at $230 twice a week. I make it a little bit less appealing. A little bit less appealing so that they're like, oh, no. You know what? I'll save a lot more money once a week. And I give them the peace of mind that their pool will be taken care of. It's once a week. I know you may be used to seeing the pool guy here twice a week, but the second visit, what are they doing? Just netting?
Yeah.
They're in and out 5 minutes.
What about
So you're paying an extra 80, like you said, $80 for them to just show up and vámonos.
right? Yeah. What about saying a twice a week visit is just the chemicals? Like one day is the cleaning.
Like just
The
check the
second day,
chemicals.
yeah, the second day, because they don't know the difference between, well, unless they've, you know, well,
Well,
they
they
just,
go, see, the thing is, they'll go, you're going to have to net it. Even if you just
yeah,
do chemicals, you're going to have to net it. Because if you show up and there's leaves in there and you just take out, they're going to see it as what is he doing?
right, right, yeah,
What am I paying for?
right. Well, I mean, we don't have
So
any of that situation out here. We don't have any twice a week things really. So, I think
I
that,
am making the switch to once a week. I'm pretty much almost all the way there. I still have a couple of pools that are twice a week. I know for a fact my Airbnb properties are twice a week because they're Airbnb properties. I do charge them more,
right.
but that's one of their requirements is twice a week. So I can't get rid of those. But everybody else that's a regular residential, once a week, man. I'm switching you once a week.
It might take a little while to really make the change, but I would just, every opportunity you get, I would plant that seed in other pool guys' minds when you talk to them and you say, oh, do you do once a week or twice a week? And they say, oh, I do twice a week. And then tell them your story and say, well, I get them all to once a week because I say, oh, it's 175. And then when they say, oh, is it twice a week? You say, well, it's an additional thing here, blah, blah, and tell them that it's working for you, that it's doing well,
Yeah,
you know.
it
And
is. It
because
is definitely.
why do we raise our prices? Because we hear other people are raising prices. We're like, oh,
Right.
everyone else is now 150. I'm still 130. I'm going to go to 140. Oh, everybody's 160. Now I'm going to go to 150.
Well, and then another thing we got to look at right now, we're in that period of time where chemicals each year are going up.
Yep.
They keep going up. And we were talking about this in the last episode. It's like they're going to get to a point where the customer is going to be like, this is hell of expensive. Like even us, we're gonna be like, okay, I can't bump them up even more because this is ridiculous. We're gonna reach the cap. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Where people just aren't going to want to pay it anymore. They aren't going to.
No, yeah, and it's we can't be too trigger. You see it a lot, man. I see it on Instagram all the time. Barbers charging $200 to cut a hair
Oh my God.
because they have their Instagram light and they do this, and I'm like, bro, like I get people wanting to make money, and I take that mindset into pool business. I get trying to make money, making money. But there's a difference between making money and taking advantage of people. And that's something that I really, really believe in. Like, I want to be fair. If I tell a customer it's going to be this much, this is how much I'm making, this is how much it's going into the chemicals, and I'm making money and you're not getting gouged, you're being taken care of. It's just, to me, it's just fair. Just because the opportunity is there to, like, I'll squeeze a little bit more money out of them. I don't think it's just, I don't see it as honest,
Right. Well, and that's one of the reasons I don't really want to be the highest priced company either, because
Yeah.
I want to provide a basic service that I can do my plan of getting through these 20 pools. You know what I mean? If somebody's paying
Right.
an average price and I'm there for, if somebody's paying $100, let's just say that's not an accurate price, but let's say someone's paying $100 and I'm there for 5 minutes and the pool looks good, they're probably happy. But if someone's paying $200 and I'm there for 10 minutes, they're probably not happy.
Right.
So I just want,
They're like, why am I paying so much money if you're only here 10 minutes?
yeah. Oh,
They don't care. And that's one of the things that I tell my clients, I'm like, as soon as they're going to hire us, I'm like, remember, you're hiring us to keep your pool clean.
Yes.
My job is for that pool to be clean and ready for you to enjoy. Yeah, I'm not getting paid for how long I'm here. If I'm here 5 minutes, if I'm here 45 minutes because it was windy,
Right.
I'm not going to fluctuate your price. That's just personally me. I know there's pool guys out there that are like, oh, there's an extra fee because the wind blew 60 knots harder than yesterday. You know, it's like, okay, if you feel that that's fair, then good for you.
Yeah.
But me personally, I'm like, okay, if I'm going to be here 45 minutes or 5 minutes or 30 minutes, I'm getting paid for the job, you know, for what I'm doing.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah. We could talk about the way I price things too. Because I price things a little differently, but I was thinking first, maybe let's finish the other two
Yeah.
methods of, the making money and how to take what's good about that. And then if there's time, I know it's I don't know.
Yeah, no, there's time. We got time.
Okay,
Go for it.
Then I could tell you how I price things, because there's a lot that goes into what kind of customers you want, and how to price them in a predictable way, versus just being like, well, this pool's big, so it's going to take more, or this pool's small, so it's going to be easier. Because many
Right.
times that's never true, right? You can get a small pool that's a nightmare, and you can get a big pool that's super easy, and you don't know that until
Yeah.
you start, So
Yeah, I was talking to on my two previous interview. He mentioned that what he does is a like a 3-month trial. Like, we're gonna do a follow-up in 3 months, and we'll go from there. So in 3 months, you're able to detect like, okay, man, this is a dirty pool. I got to charge more, or you know what, this is an easy pool.
When I make a
I thought it was
mistake,
pretty good idea too.
yeah, when I make a mistake on pricing and I realize it within the first week or two, I give them a few months. I deal with my mistake for a few months, so that they know, then they trust me, they like me, and then I can explain to them, hey, I made a mistake a while ago. This pool really needs to be another $25 or something like that. So the 3-month thing,
Yeah.
kind of goes along with that. But let me finish real quick about
Awesome.
the other business sort of strategies. Is
Let's go, Mike. We're on number 3.
yeah, we're making good money. Okay, we're not working too much. Well, we are.
And we have our specialty.
You're doing your specialty. You're making your money. Now, I would pick one of the other things that most interest you. Okay, do you really want to build a 500 company? Do you want to get into construction, or do you want to sell routes? Okay, if you want to get into construction and you're really into it, you can go for your C53, get your license. You can do construction on Fridays. Okay, as it builds up, you can if you want to be a contractor, if that's your main goal, and then be a contractor. But what I like to do instead, because I like this other method, and I don't want all that headache and uncertainty about being a contractor, is how most contractors work. Is you call them, you say, hey, I have this house, they want to do a remodel. Okay, and they say, okay, give me their number, give me their address, I'll go talk to them, and I'll give you a referral. Right? That's how most of them do it. Okay. You want to find a contractor, and there's a few of them out there, where they allow you to sort of like be involved on your level, because so many times you do something like that, a contractor goes, they're like, okay, the pool will be done in 2 weeks. You go, you show up, the startup was not done right. They were just going to do a replaster, but then you look and there's all new equipment, right? And they sort of, in my opinion, went above and beyond what they maybe should have done, in a way. So you want to find a contractor that wants their life as easy as you want to build your life, which is, hey, I have this pool out here. Okay, send me some pictures. What's the linear square footage? They can give you all the quotes. They can give you all those prices. And then you can have a part in this. You could say, I'm draining the pool. I'm doing the startup. I'm organizing this. I'm putting in the handrail. I'm installing the equipment, whatever. Like, you take what you want out of it and put that into there. Plus, on top of that, they give you your referral, right? So if you had a remodel where you drain it, you work with the homeowner, hey, what kind of tile do you want? Okay, this is the schedule. The contractor, he has his license. He's going to be the one you're paying, but I'm doing these portions that I can do, right? And especially if they do some equipment, by the time it's all said and done, you could be making just as much as the contractor make on the remodel, right? Now, without your license, you can't do certain things. You can't do anything underground. You can't, do the pipes and things like that. If they're getting
Well, technically out here, you can't do anything over 500, right? Without your license.
It's 1,000 now. It's 1,000.
Really?
Yeah, it's $1,000 now.
When did it go up?
I don't know. Maybe January.
I could have sworn it was.
Maybe January of this year. So, it's
I'll have to look into that one.
It's a way to involve yourself into construction, without doing the physical work, without having to organize it. If anything goes wrong, with the aspect of construction, that contractor is going to have to take care of it. You know what I mean? So, that's how I handle that portion. It's a referral, but it's like a referral, but it's a very involved referral. Anyways, I was gonna look it up, but no, it's $1,000.
We'll do it later.
Yeah, it's $1,000 now.
Okay.
So, which is nice because that covers most of those specialty jobs, But you can get your D35. The D35 is pretty easy to get. It's just a law test. And then you could do anything above ground. So
the C53 is the one that you need for underground, right?
Yes, yeah. Any changing of the structure, anything you put that is, it really comes down to what can't you see? You can't see pipes, you can't see, drain, the proper sump depth of drains and things like that. That's where you have to have the C50, C53. So, now, if you want to sell pools or build pools, as you have your pools are out again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you do your specialty stuff. Now, more customers are going to come in. So where are you going to put them? Okay. This is where I would have people set up. You can do a 1099 if you want. You could do, I'm going to say don't do a 1099. You could do a W-2, okay, of a guy on Friday. And when you got a guy, you can move your Monday, you can move 5 from Monday, 5 from Tuesday, 5 from Wednesday, 5 from Thursday, put them on Friday. That guy now has a 20 route pool business, a 20 route day, right? As you build up more pools and you spread them out, you can do it again. You take 5 from Monday, 5 from Tuesday, 5 from Wednesday, 5 from Thursday, put them on a Friday. Because all those people are going to be fine moving to a Friday, right?
Oh, yeah.
You call somebody on a Friday and you say, hey, I'm going to move you to Monday. And they're like, no. I'm not moving to Monday.
Yeah.
But
I don't use my pool on Mondays. Yeah.
Any one of those people will be fine going to Friday, right? I mean,
right.
Rarely ever get a complaint. So nobody complains. And then you can sell those. You can just transfer those over. You can sell them. Ideally, what you want to do is you want to start a new person in the business. So in August, I started two new people. One had some experience. Another guy was brand new. So I started them and I trained them on the pools. One guy can do some repairs. He can do like pump rebuilds, filter grid replacements. The other guy can't do anything. Okay. So also what just happened there was you're free on Friday, right? You don't have anything to do. You could go to Disneyland with your kids. You could go to the beach with your kids, whatever you want to do. You could work on all the other wealths of life, or if you have nothing to do, when those people come to you and they say, "Hey, I'm at so and so's house, and they need a new pump, or they need a new filter, or whatever," who are they going to go to? Are they going to go find
Right.
people they don't know, or they're going to go to
No,
you?
they're going to come to you.
They're going to go to you, right?
Yeah.
So every time you pass over 20 pools, and then you get 20 more, now you basically have your 80, plus you have another 20 that you do all the repairs and installations for, right?
Right.
2 or 3 months later, you transfer over another 20. 2 or 3 months later, you transfer over another 20. Eventually, you have these people who own the pools, do them for free. You have no more liability on them. You're not doing the billing. You're not doing the processing. You're not doing any of that stuff. They're doing them for you, either paying them off, or buying them outright, or whatever. And you're covering now all these pools for what they need. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Eventually you do have to do more work, but on the days when you don't have your specialty thing, you can do some of that extra kind of work. But the good thing about that is you're not going to random people. You're going to customers, you're going to customers' equipment. You already know exactly what they need, right? And you're not necessarily billing the homeowner. Okay. So you're guaranteed payment right from the beginning from your people. Does that make sense? Like if someone
Yeah, it makes sense too. Because I was thinking the person that's buying the pools from you is technically gonna be working that Friday cleaning those pools, and you're gonna be making the money off of them until they're paid off.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And then they get to keep them.
Right.
But by them working on the pools, they're already establishing a relationship with the client, so it'll be a super easy transition for them.
Exactly.
And then you could always add more and more pools. Now I see this working for pool guys that have existing pools, but I find it a little bit difficult for maybe some guy that wants to buy some pools, but that just starting off has no pools.
Okay.
So I'm going to work one day out of the week, and then that's it.
Right. So what you're doing is you're mentoring them. So they start with your 20 pools,
teaching.
and then you're mentoring them. So you meet with them, you show them how to advertise, you show them how to do all these other things, because for them to build up, they're going to now build up the rest of their week on their own. Okay. But that Friday is devoted to you. They're going to build up the rest of the pools on their own as you're mentoring them. You're still going to be their person. So now you also become their go-to person for all their future pools. Make sense?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're mentor. And then another thing I get all the time is daily when I get possible quotes. And okay, I got Joe, and Joe works in these cities. Okay. And then I got Steve, and Steve works in these cities, and John works in these cities over here. So when someone calls me from this city, I don't even need to go. I can just say, "Hey, John, can you go to this quote?
Go check it out."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So John goes, he does that. It's his pool. He can take it. You don't have to, you could ask for a referral in that situation, but
A percentage or something.
Usually I don't, they take that, but that becomes, he comes back, he says, "Oh, Mike, I went and the pool's green and blah, blah, blah. And they need a new filter, new grids." And then you could be like, "Okay, well, do I want to take that?" You know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, sure. I don't have anything tomorrow after I'm done at noon, and kids don't have sports games and this and that. And I don't have to do, so I'll take that.
Why not?
Take that job.
Right.
Why not? But you can easily just say no and they can take care of it, and it still becomes a future client, right? A future client of your team of people. So it's like you kind of want to build like it's a good idea to have like sort of a team and mentoring
Network.
a network, right? So
Yeah.
like for us, it's like our main network kind of leader. He's retired. Okay, so he doesn't care about getting accounts. He doesn't care about any of the money there. He just sort of mentors down to me, and then I mentor to all the other either service people or repair people that are out there doing things. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
IPSA can be a place where you meet people, but IPSA people don't seem to want to necessarily work together too much. I'm not sure why. It's kind of just more like, oh, you meet, you BS for a little while, and then you get your insurance, you get your free pizza, and then you go. You know what I mean? Are you an IPSA?
Yeah. No. But that been your experience when you attended a IPSA meeting?
A way, yes, because I've tried to have conversations about, hey, what do people charge? And I get it. I understand that. Well, they're like, well, we really shouldn't talk about that. And in a way, I get it, because if everyone says, oh, we're all $150, you could go out there and be like, oh,
What is that called? Price something, right? What is that called?
Yeah,
When you talk pricing and now everybody's at that price, what is that? There's a word for it, price something.
yeah. I know what you're talking
That
about.
is, I don't know if it's illegal or it's frowned upon.
Yeah, it's basically, I don't think it's illegal, but yeah, it's frowned upon, because then everyone in the group's like, oh, I'm 150, I'm 150. Then you go, oh, okay, I'm going to start saying 140, to undercut all those people. Price,
Right.
undercutting in a way there. So, I wouldn't rely on IPSA to be your people, but IPSA could be a good group for, you get all this stuff you want to get. You get some life insurance, you get your cheaper insurances through that. Yeah, it's good to know all those people, but you want to build your own network of people, right? So you want your people who can advise on maybe like taxes and organizing the business and law stuff, and then people that can advise on all kinds of repairs,
Okay.
things like that.
So I looked it up. It's called price fixing or antitrust issues when it comes to competitors openly talking about pricing. In less legal, more casual terms, it's often referred to as price discussion taboo in trade groups or professional settings.
Right.
Collusion risk of business share prices. Yeah.
Which is why you got a bunch of crap when you on Instagram was talking about pricing.
Well, yeah, because and it's okay. So somebody that doesn't know how to price, somebody that's just starting off, and you get a lot of people that like hit them up and they're like, oh, you're pricing too low. You're pricing too low. Man, you got to pick up your pricing. You got to pick up your pricing. And then you ask, well, how much? Oh, I can't say, man. It all depends on the pool. It all, they hit you with all the round around.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, how is that person going to get educated on how to actually price?
Okay.
How to actually break it down.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I give you my take on pricing?
Go. Yeah. Let the listeners hear.
Okay. So, when someone calls me, when someone calls you, Pete, and they say, hey, I have a pool. What are your...
I tell them wrong number, bro.
Right. That's when they're in the other city, right? What is, what do you say? Like, they're like, well, what is it based on? They call it.
So what I say,
and what is it based on? What do you say?
So it's based on the chemicals, how much the pricing is on chemicals, my labor cost, how much I'm charging to be there and do the work.
Yep.
Taking into consideration the gas, also all the stuff that comes with it, the insurance, the the wear and tear on the truck, all that stuff that you calculate. And that's pretty much it. How much do I want to make in this pool per month?
Right. And do you have to see the pool or no?
No, I have to see the pool because, well, I base it off of, okay, what kind of debris, landscaping,
Trees.
does it have bushes? Do they have dogs? Do they live next to an empty lot that's going to throw in dirt? Like, look, what kind of pool equipment do they have? Do they have the right amount of horsepower on their pump to be able to have the equipment work efficiently? How is their filter? Like, yeah, do a whole walkthrough.
Yeah. Do they have a vacuum? Do they
have oh my God, if they have a vacuum, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I look for all that too.
Do they use it? Are they snowbirds? Are they not? You know?
Yeah. Or is it a rental? Right. So there's a lot
Yeah.
that goes into that to determine your price, right? But what I would like to suggest is that instead, we start thinking of quoting the people over the pool, right? Because
So based on race?
no.
You heard it here first, people. No, go ahead. So based on the people, what do you mean?
The people, as far as what what would you rather have? Would you rather? How many times are you in a situation where you go to a pool, it's super easy, you're like, man, this pool's going to be easy, and the customers are terrible. They complain about every little thing. Every week they're like, oh, are you also going to clean the back wall? And you're like, well, no. And they're like, oh yeah, you got to clean the back wall. And then the next time, just constant complaints where when you walk in, you're already stressed to go to that pool. Okay.
Dude. Yes. Micromanage the clients that love to micromanage.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. And then sometimes you have this huge pool. You were scared. You were terrified of the trees, all this other stuff. But the people are like,
they leave you alone.
Be there. I'm running late. I'm going to be there. It's going to be another hour. And they're like, don't worry about the pool. Looks fine. You can skip me this week.
Yeah.
You get there. There's drinks for you. All this other stuff, right?
Butter.
Right. So I look for 3 red flags, okay, from people because, well, also, see the chemicals for the pool, the amount of trees, the vacuum. I do like the vacuum. I do really like to push everyone to have a vacuum, but a lot of that stuff doesn't matter because I don't tell them I'm a pool cleaner. Okay. What I am is I'm a pool maintenance person. Okay. So I'm not here to clean your pool. I'm here to maintain your pool. Some days that means I need to fix why you're having a priming issue. Okay. Because if I just came and I cleaned your pool and you had a priming issue, but the pool looks spotless,
I'm out.
Left. Next week, you're going to have a burned up $2,000 pump. Right. So if I go to a pool and it looks like it's going to be a long pool, it really doesn't matter too much to me because I only have 20 minutes I can do your pool. I can't exceed 20 minutes. Okay. Because I need to do at minimum 2 pools an hour. If you're doing 1 pool an hour, that's called charity. Right.
That's called being retired.
Right. If you're doing 2 pools an hour, that's a job. Okay. You can go get another job.
Yeah. See, that's my dream. Talking about when you're 60 years old, are you going to still be cleaning pool? Yes, I'm still going to be cleaning pool, but it's probably going to be just 1 pool a day, 2 pools. Right. Like I'm going to be there for an hour, taking my time, making sure everything's perfect,
Maintaining your perfect, right? Maintaining your contribution to society in a way. Right?
There you go.
You got to do that. So at 2 pools, like I said, it's a job. 2 pools would be 20 minutes cleaning, 10-minute drive, 20-minute cleaning, 10-minute drive. At 3 pools an hour, now it's a career, right? Now it's a career.
Mm-hmm.
So when I get there, because I'm doing pool maintenance, not pool cleaning, I work on whatever the pool needs. Okay. The pool will always be cleaned decently. Okay. But if you have another issue, that is first. That takes place first. If your vacuum needs to be rebuilt because it's stuck and I need to take everything apart, that's part of your time, right?
I might not brush today because I'm focused on making sure your crawler works.
Every time somebody
I see what you're saying.
like, oh, there was still some leaves in the pool. Oh, well, I use skimmer, and on skimmer, I mean, I have a massive amount of possibilities of what could come up, right? So, I mean, down here, I just have a massive amount of things that can come up. Okay. Vacuum rebuild, priming issue, all this other stuff. Okay. So if your pool doesn't look perfect, now 90% of the time I tell them, when I come in, 90% of the time, all I got to do here is clean the pool and you'll have a clean pool. But there will be once every 2 or 3 months where there's going to be a problem. I'm going to have to take the vacuum apart. I'm going to have to reprime the pump. I'm going to have to troubleshoot an issue. And that takes some of your time. So the pricing, all that matters with the pricing on the pool is how much money do I want to make an hour, right? If I figured out, let's say you want to make $150 an hour. Okay. So you want to make $2.50 a minute. So maximum time at a pool at 20 minutes, you're making $50. Right?
20 minutes.
I'm losing track of where I'm going here. I would quote the person, okay, over the pool. And what you need to learn from people is what kind of buyer are they? So you can learn that on the phone. You can learn that when you get there. So there's basically 4 types of buyers, Pete. There's emotional buyers, okay? There's financial buyers, okay? There's basically like people that are just like emergency buyers. They just have to buy right away. I'll describe these in a second. And then there's technical buyers, okay? The worst one of those that you want at all is the financial buyer, because immediately all they do is what's your price, right? All they want is the cheapest price. You're going to have problems with everything with them. Technical buyers, you know right away because they say something like, hey, I need a pool guy because my salt cell is flashing, low salt level. I check the salt, it does this, and then it's having a problem communicating with, you know what I mean? They want you to prove to them, before they hire you, they want you to prove to them that you can handle
that. You know what you're doing.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's what you have to prove to them to get them. Okay. Emotional buyers base it off of if you were
vibes.
If you were to ask them, hey, why did you pick me over other companies? Their response all the time is just, I like you the best. I just like you.
Yeah.
Right?
Vibes.
Right. A financial buyer would say, well, you had the best price. You know? And then an emergency kind of buyer is just the person that, how many times have you had a phone call and they're just like, hey, we need pool service. How much are you? And you're like, oh, I'm about, 150 a month or whatever. Okay. When can you start? Like just on the phone.
Like, we need you now. Let's go.
They don't care. You get there, they're just busy people. They're busy. They just want to buy something now. They
just take care of it. Yeah.
Right. They don't care about all the other stuff. They don't care about, do you guys have something in common? Do you, what the price is or any of that stuff? Those you don't need to worry about. So when you go to the house, I have a few things. I basically give people 3 red flags. Okay. One, those people that are very difficult to schedule with, right? When they're very difficult to schedule with, what do you notice? You get there, they lock the gate. They don't want to give you a key. They're going to unlock on Wednesday mornings at 8:00. They have dogs you need to put away, right? You text them for the dogs, they're not responding, right? You're waiting 30 minutes, nobody responds for the dog. You're at another house, then they respond. They say, okay, you can come now. You're like, I'm already down the street, blah, 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 right? That's a red flag person. Okay. Then, you go in the yard and you suggest something like, the pump lid is leaking. You need a new O-ring. I'm like, what? Like, oh, what? Can you show me? And, you show them the O-ring. And they're like, well, how much is that? Oh, it's $8. Well, I'm going to look online, try to find one, like
Trust issues.
trust issues. They don't want to spend anything. Yeah. That was a perfect way to say it. It's a trust issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a red flag.
Oh, you're trying to gouge me. Ooh, you're trying to get some extra money out of me. I'll go to Amazon and I'll find it for cheaper.
I found it online for $6. You wanted $8, right? Like, well, actually,
Yeah.
it's more like 15, but whatever. Again, every price that's going out, it's just
Yeah.
It's just I'm just
Yeah.
random price for everything. But one thing that I like to do is to judge people's opinion when you go in the backyard and you see a tree and you say, oh my gosh, that's a big tree. That must, a lot of those leaves must go in the pool. You're going to have two people you're going to have two different reactions from people. You're going to have the guy or girl that says, oh my God, I hate that tree. I would cut it down if I would, but it's in the neighbor's yard. I went over there and I asked him, could you trim that tree? Those are going to be reasonable people for everything you do in the pool, with the pool. You tell them you're running late. You tell them you got to come a different day. You tell them they need their pump. You tell them they need filter grids. You tell them they need a repair or whatever. They're reasonable. They're going to accept that.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell somebody, you see this 50-foot tree with all these leaves right over the pool, and you're like, that's going to be a nightmare pool. And they're like, oh no, that pool, no, none of those leaves go in the pool. There's no problem with that tree, right? That's
yeah, there's no problem with that tree because that previous pool guy was cleaning them out.
Right, because the previous guy spent an hour here.
Yeah, and that's why he's not here no more.
Right. So when I see three things like that, and there could be a lot of red flags, but then
So it'd be difficult to schedule with, trust issues, and what was the third one?
Well, there's the being like sort of unreasonable about the reality of the situation, like the tree.
Mm.
The best kind of buyer you want is the emotional buyer. They want to like you. They want to have a good relationship, and by doing that, they're gonna accept what you say. They're gonna trust you. They're gonna understand the idea of maintenance versus cleaning. It's just good to know where they fall into that. So
yeah,
anyways, I'm quoting the person. If I think the person's going to be difficult and we're always going to be a nightmare, I say a higher price over an easy pool. If it's a bigger pool and the people seem very easy to work with, even if it's bigger, I'll say a lower price. If I make a mistake, like I said, you already know they're reasonable. You already know that they'll work with you. So down the road, you can tell them, hey, I made a mistake here. I'm spending more chemicals than I thought. I'm going to raise it, and they're going to accept that.
I think it would be a good approach and something that I'm going to start implementing is a good approach, that 3-month thing. If you disclose that at the beginning and be like, hey, listen, this is going to be my quote. This is the price. This is how it's going to go. In 3 months from now, we're going to revisit now that I have more experience with your pool, and we'll go ahead and revisit pricing. And if everything's still lined up, we keep it where we're at. If not, then it'll go up a little bit higher. If it's less, it goes down a little bit more.
It takes a month or two, to learn that anyways. You know what I mean? It takes a month or two to see, well, does it just need more chlorine than I was kind of thinking, or is there more things going on here? Is it 10 kids in the pool all the time? And it takes a month or two to learn that, and then by the third, you can you reach out to them with that. You know what I mean?
I feel that would be a better approach than apologizing in 3 months. Hey, I made a mistake.
Right.
What do you think?
Cool. either way, I've usually said sounded that like, oh, hey, I made a mistake. That's what I say, and your pool is taking an extra $25 more than I thought, whatever, your price has to go up,
Yeah. What if they say, well, I made a mistake in hiring you then?
Yeah. Well, then you give them to
Oh,
one of your buddies that you don't like, right?
there you go. Difficulty to schedule with. Red flags, trust issues. They don't trust in what you say. They rather go do the research themselves, and they're unreasonable about unrealistic, right? About the reality. Oh, no, 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 no. It's going to be clean. No, no, you're not going to have any issues. No, the dog never goes in the pool.
Right.
Every time you go, the damn dog's in the pool.
Right. Right. So I look for that. So when people call, it's like, oh, how much for the pool? And it's like again, that's not really so much of what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about, are you going to lock the gate? Are you going to constantly have the dog out? Are you going to complain every week? That's what makes taking care of pools is easy. Taking care of pools is very easy. Managing the customers is what's difficult. Right?
Yeah.
Let's say, imagine all your houses had no homeowners. No one lived.
Oh,
It was just empty houses. That's my pools.
That's my PGA West route, bro.
PGA.
That's my route where I have my guy at. These guys are there. These clients are there. What? 4, 5, 6 months out of the year, and then the houses are just sitting there.
Oh, you mean like the
butter
thing that you're talking about, where they
the snowbirds? Yeah.
So
all the Canadians.
Yeah. So how do those pools feel for you when they're gone?
Butter.
Exactly.
Boom, 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 boom. Hit them, because they're always. I mean, literally, they're big fountains. I mean, nobody uses them.
But even the difficult ones feel better than the easy ones with the people that are difficult.
Yeah, because you don't have the micromanaging. You don't have somebody looking over your shoulder. You don't have that worry of I'm gonna walk in. Are they gonna be here? Are they not? Not even if you get along with them, it has nothing to do with that. It's just sometimes, I don't know about you, I like popping in my headphones and I'm in my zone. I'm doing my own thing. I don't want to be out here talking to the customer for 15, 20 minutes because he's bored and has nothing else to do.
Right.
You know?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So what else do you want to talk about? Basically, when I
so we have the three. So I wrote all this down because I'm like, this is really great information. And if you're listening to the podcast, write this stuff down. It's a really good way for you to organize your pool route, to organize not your pool route, to organize your life, to be able to take advantage of those 5 points that Mike was talking about: your time, your health, your mental, your financial, and your social. You want to make sure you start off with a tight route, advertise in a specific area, not necessarily the whole city, but close by. That way you grow your route really close together, which will in turn around, you'll be able to do it a lot faster and cover a lot more pools. Then also think about a specialty: pool repair, installations, pulling lights, leak detection, something that's going to make you a significant amount of money, and technical skills, something that you could specialize in, that everybody knows you for. Hey, that's Pete. Pete, this is what he does. You need Pete, call him. He specializes in pulling lights or automation systems or calcium removals. So then you have that. And then the third one is what your interest in for the future to continue to grow the business, which could be either construction, building pools, getting your C53 license, or doing any above ground repairs with your D35 license. Or you could start getting into, like Mike said, selling pools, building up a route, turning it around and selling it to somebody else that might want to grow their business as well. And that's another source of income. And then also, we talked about the pricing. I love the fact that you said that we're pool maintenance, not pool cleaners. I love that because there are many times where I personally have gone into pools and it's like most of my time that I was there, I was fixing an issue instead of cleaning the pool,
Right.
so that makes a lot of sense. Definitely. Anything else you want to add to what we got going on, Mike?
Well, basically, when I'm working with somebody or mentoring somebody, you know, um, I kind of go through like there's really about 10 steps of things from all kinds of subjects. But this is basically just the first one, right? The first one
Yeah.
is picking
And
what.
we're definitely going to get you back here, Mike, because I want to hit those steps.
Yes,
I
because
feel that we could do a show, an episode per step. We could
okay, yeah,
definitely do that.
because you have to start with this because we can't even talk about setting goals because what goals can you set until you understand the reality?
Well, your goal. How about your goal be setting this up,
Setting what? Oh,
getting this going,
right, right,
getting this, yeah, this episode, these keys that you just provided. Putting these into play for all
right,
those new pool guys out there that are just starting out. This is your goal. This is what you need to get, and what kind of mindset you need to be on for sure.
right. And the
Definitely.
goals are based too. Like I put most people between like the sort of the ranges of people that put them into a sort of general category is if you're a $0 to $50,000 a year, you know, you need to work on this step. If you're $50,000 to $100,000 a year, you need to similar step. Obviously, you have more work than other people. If you're $100,000 to $120,000 a year, you either need to uh, readjust what you're doing because you're already set with a lot of ways. But if it's not working for you, then you need to readjust. You know what I mean? Or if you're $200,000 to
Yeah.
$500,000 a year, you know. Um, so yeah, that's kind of
I think that's very important in business is adjusting. You're always adjusting. It can't be, my wife says it can't be a cookie cutter kind of plan. You're always having to adjust based on the situation you're in at the time.
I'm constantly moving things around all the time, moving things like when I was training these two people in this month, and having to move things around and move pools around. But luckily I have so many people now that I can just say, hey, can you do this? Can you over there do that? I got to do this training. Then they're set. Now they become a future person for me too, where, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? You know what I mean? Um, having the team is really helpful. But like I said, you really have to start with understanding the business and where you can make money before you even plan a goal, right? And then planning a goal is not just planning a goal. There's equal amounts of information and steps to just planning goals. You know what I mean? And then you know, there's taxes, there's advertising, there's, um, uh, you know, just a whole bunch of steps. You know.
Yeah, in another episode, I'd really like to really dig down and get technical with the pricing. I want us to do that, Mike. I want us to get really technical. That way, these pool pros that are out there that are just starting know what calculations they need to know, what to take into consideration to be able to price or make their price for their pool routes and not have to worry about so and so is charging this, so and so is charging that. You're one, okay, I want to profit at least 30%. I want to do this. Okay, then run these numbers. This is what you need to do.
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah. Um, I, 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 I find that very important with the price, with the advertising. So what I do every year is I find out how much I spend in advertising, how many pools did I get from advertising, and then what does that come out per spend for advertising. So if I spend $150 in advertising to get one pool at $150, I know I can repeat what I'm doing over and over. If I spent $150 in advertising and I got $100 back, I can't do that again, you know. But
Yeah.
if you spend $1,000, Pete, in advertising and you made $1,000 100 back, how many times can you do that?
Say that again.
If you spent $1,000 in advertising and you made $1,100 back,
Oh, you can keep going.
you can just do it forever, right?
Yeah, because you're getting it back.
You're
The
getting
moment you start not getting it back, then yeah,
so as soon
think
as
of something else.
as soon as you have a system of advertising that your advertising brings you more money back, then you just decide how much money you want to make a year. If you want to make $100,000, you just advertise to the point that gets you $100,000.
Yeah,
You know, so
completely agree.
yeah.
Well,
And
Mike, thank you so much for coming onto the Pool Fool podcast and filling us fools with your knowledge. Learned a lot today. I'm not gonna lie, man. A lot of stuff that I'm able to apply.
Yep.
I do like to ask the last question. I ask it to everybody, and that's, what piece of advice do you have for our listeners, pool related or not pool related?
I started listening to, when you asked me to be on, I started listening to all your shows. And I think the best thing that was ever said on your podcast was when Zach from Pineapple Pools said about getting mentors. I think that was the best thing. And he mentioned how in 1 year his profits were going up $200,000. That's solely from mentors. So you shouldn't be scared to spend money. People will go to a bookstore and they'll see a book on something to benefit their life. And it'll say, oh, $25. I'm like, oh, that's kind of expensive. And then they'll go to lunch and buy a $25 margarita. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Something's off.
Right.
Something's off.
You need to make yourself a person that wants the book, that sees the value in that. So
priorities are off.
Yes. Get mentors, but you need to interview them. You don't just go pick the successful person, because I guarantee 95% of all the successful people you're going to meet, they're successful for one reason only. They work 100 hours a week. They don't see their family. They don't see their kids. They're losing their health. And then you're going to take advice from them,
Right.
So,
I mean, if that's where you want to end up, then hey, go for it.
Right.
But it's very important for you to interview them and see exactly, okay, are they successful in all 5 areas or just one?
Right. And you do that by, this will be the last thing I'll say, because I know it's been long, but the last thing
go for it
is, if I meet a successful person, the best question I like to ask them is, oh, what did you do this summer? Or something like that. A person that says, oh, I spent hours analyzing my investment portfolio, and I made a few stock changes, and now I'm making 1% more on my money. That's what they did this summer. That's not the mentor I want. When they say, oh, I took my whole family and we went to Switzerland for 3 weeks and we biked through the Swiss Alps, right? The guy has time because he can leave for 2 weeks. He has money because
he's got money.
He has health because he can physically do that kind of activity. And he has social, family, and friend relationships.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the one you want.
Right. So he told you all those things without telling you any of them, without actually explaining that he's wealthy in all of his life. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Mike, where can they find you? Where can they contact you? How can people reach you?
I guess on Instagram, that's where.
What's your handle?
Vision.pools, I think. I'm not sure.
What do you mean you think?
I think there's a dot.
Yo, hold on. No.
Yeah,
hold on.
Dot. Vision.pools.
Dot. All right, guys, go make sure and follow Mike at vision.pools, VISION.pools on Instagram. He's there to help out as well. Check out his videos. He has a lot of good education as well. If you got questions, anything like that, he's definitely here to help. Mike, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for being here. Appreciate you.
Cool. Thanks, Pete. All right. Good to talk to you.
All right. You guys have a good one. See you guys on the next one. Orale.
Pool podcast. Let's vibe. Let's vibe. Game so deep. Let's ride. Let's ride. From the valley to the masses, we know. We know. Let it flow. Let it flow. Let it flow. Pool podcast. Let's